Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Monday, and all of our guests today, including Elliotte, standing by. Brought to you by Passant Motors. It's May Days at Passant, and they want to make sure you love your ride. Check them out at Passant Motors, BASANTmotors.com, and find a ride, a sweet ride, that you will love. Joining us now from Hockey Night in Canada and the 32 Thoughts podcast, Elliotte Friedman. Thank you for doing this, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing? That's
Lovely.
A pretty tame shirt for you, Rick. That's pretty tame.
It's a good. I bought it in Toronto, Elliotte. I bought it in Toronto. There you go.
Oh, there you go. It's a beautiful shirt then. Beautiful.
Hey, is there any explanation for the highs and lows of Stuart Skinner this playoff season? Or any season, really?
You know what? I think it was funny. I was thinking about this morning, actually, Donnie. I think what it is that he's not a technically perfect goalie. He's got some holes, and he's got some flaws sometimes that I think that can be exploited. Like one of the things the Oilers have done is that they have really done a better job of playing team defense, which is amazing because I think none of us would have predicted that would be the case though at Ekholm, but they have. As a team, when you take a look at the quality of shots given up in the playoffs, they've done a really good job of making it harder to get to that home plate area in front of the net. They're not perfect, nobody is, but they're better. The other thing I've seen from Skinner is that he battles more now. If you take a look at some of his more recent games, it's not perfect, and nobody's asking it to be perfect. It's not technically sound all the time, and nobody's asking for it to be. But if you look at some of the saves he's making, he's battling to get into position, and the puck is hitting him. And that's all you can ask. I think that's what they've said to him is, we need you to battle. And that's the thing I've noticed in the last, particularly the other day against Dallas, when, even though the final score was 6-1, I thought in the second period, Dallas could have scored 4 or 5 times. Yeah. And he just battled, absolutely battled. So I think with Skinner, Don, I don't think you can ever ask for, for me, there's only one stat that matters for him, and that's W's. Does he win? And if he battles and the team suppresses shots in front of him, it gives them a chance to win. And we've seen a lot of that over these playoffs. The Oilers defensively, that's been one of the storylines. Their depth, scoring without McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice has been better than it's ever been. And they don't allow shots from great areas better than they ever have.
He can be a flashy player, but somewhat of an understated game. I would say a low-key personality. Ryan NugentHopkins has been outstanding for the Oilers, talking about their depth. 7 points in 3 games. He's +6. I don't know why you're laughing here, Ellie. He's from Burnaby. Show some respect here. He's plus.
No, you know why I'm
6.
laughing, Donnie? Because Ryan Nugent-Hopkins could never work in media because he's low maintenance.
Yeah.
That's why I'm laughing.
Right. Yeah. Very, very true. Absolutely. That aside, what's your opinion of the way he's played?
Well, I think he's been fantastic. You said the numbers. The thing about Nugent-Hopkins is, I remember last year, Draisaitl called him the coach's favorite player, like kind of the teacher's pet, and they were all kind of laughing about that. I think it's true because he is low maintenance. He shows up, he does his job, he doesn't complain, he works, and he just does what he needs to do. I think he's a perfect complementary player. Obviously, we know who the stars are on the Edmonton team, but Nugent-Hopkins is a guy who, even though he's a number 1 overall draft pick, there's never an issue with, okay, we need you to do this. Okay, I'll do it. We need you to do this. Okay, I'll do it. We need you to play on this line. Okay, I'll do it. We need you to do that. I'll do it. It's never about what's better for him, what gets him more points, or what he needs to do for himself. It's always about, what he can do for the team. I remember a few years ago, we did an interview with him, and he talked about how many coaches he had in a short period of time and how that really hurt him as a player. I think the stability in the Oilers over the last few years, they've cut that down, has been great for him. And I think that his ego is such that he recognizes who the stars of the team are and what he can do to help them out. The other thing is too, Donnie, is he has gone from a boy to a man. I remember when he first came in, he wasn't a big guy, but he was kind of slight. Now he's not a big guy, but he's jacked. Like he's in great shape. So he's better prepared to handle the battles that you get in the National Hockey League.
All right, Elliotte, the Canucks pro and amateur meetings ended on the weekend. We're all waiting a big trade. What are you hearing on the Canucks? Like, now that those meetings are over, can we expect some stuff out of their camp in the near future?
I think the tough thing is, Rick, is that I still think there's still teams playing. And some of those teams, like one of the obvious storylines is Toronto's done playing right now, and I think they hope to get some clarity on Marner pretty soon. Like, is there any chance that he's going to sign with them, or is he just going to say, "Look, I'm going to test free agency and see what happens"? And something like that is going to create a lot of dominoes. Um, I think that's our biggest question here, Rick, is just when the also a guy like Sam Bennett, whenever Florida's done playing, is he going to make a deal with the Panthers or is he going to test the market? And I think that decisions like that one are still going to have a lot to do with where we're going here. Now, I think your own organization by now. If you've been out, you kind of know what the landscape is. You have a good idea what other organizations who are out, what they're going to do. But I still think there are some decisions here, particularly free agents, where I don't think that the entire situation is set yet. Like, I'll give you another example. I don't know what's going to happen with Gavrikov in LA, but I know some people who were convinced he was going to stay, and now they're not sure. Now, he may still end up staying, but right now people were not sure. So I think free agency, now Gavrikov's not going to be a guy who's on the Canucks radar because you guys have enough to eat, but it can still affect a lot of other decisions that are made out there. So I think what it comes down to right now is still getting a landscape on where everybody is sitting and still also trying to figure out, especially for 2C now, look at how many teams are going to be looking for a two center out
Oh,
there,
lots of
Rick.
them.
Like there's a ton of them. So what are you going to do to get that player?
Elliotte, we've been talking a lot in this market that the top free agents don't want to come to Vancouver. Marner, Bennett, Ehlers. Are you hearing the same? Like Jim Rutherford said it himself 2 weeks ago, where, the Vancouver is not high on a lot of free agents lists. Would you agree with that?
I think that what's happened, Rick, is that this year, the instability this year has really hurt that.
Yep.
A year ago, I don't know if people would have said the same thing. A lot of these guys want to go where they can win,
Yep.
right? And, a year ago, I think you would have been a lot higher on lists than you are now. This was a tough year. I mean, you guys don't need me to ask all these questions to say everybody knows what the situation was this year.
Yeah.
So I think, yes, it has hurt the standing of the Canucks in the league. I think that the uncertainty around Hughes, I think that's another one that's going to lead to a few questions here and there. I think some of the top players would want to know, okay, we've heard what you said about Hughes publicly. What do you really think? Where do you, because if you're coming to Vancouver and you're signing long term, you're going to want to know that you're going to be playing with a guy like him long term. So I think that's another question that a lot of people would have, but there's no doubt after what happened this year, Vancouver's rating has dropped down a little bit for free agents this season.
Talking with Elliotte Friedman, we've been discussing this before and during the show, Elliotte. Okay, Carolina versus Florida tonight. Carolina facing elimination. They've been outscored 16-4 in 3 games. 14 straight conference final losses for the Hurricanes. So we asked the question, is Rod Brindamore's job in jeopardy?
I don't think so. I would always, they just signed him to an extension, right?
There you go.
So yeah, so that's one thing. Secondly, here's the thing. Brindamore really sets the tone for that team. He's the guy. there is not a coach. I don't even think a guy like John Cooper. John Cooper is a great coach, has won as much as Cooper's won. I don't know if he sets the identity for the Lightning as much as Brind'Amour does in Carolina. Like Brind'Amour basically sets the entire franchise identity. He has determined how they play. He has a say in some personnel decisions. He is the guy in that organization. Like all those players are very loyal to him. The one thing I could see, and it should happen because I think this always needs to be something that needs to be addressed, is I could see organizationally everybody's sitting down and saying, is there something, the way we play or the kind of player that we identify, is there something we need to do to change? Uh, you know, for example, to make two conference finals in 3 years like they have, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
If it was so easy, everybody would do it. But the results, the way, to me, Donnie, even more, it's the way they've kind of been pushed around a little bit here. You can lose, someone's going to lose, but you can't get bullied. And I could see if Carolina goes down 4 straight or doesn't make this more of a series, I could see a conversation in, okay, we're a good organization. We're doing pretty well, but we really are going to have to change something to go to the next level. And is that the kind of player we identify or the way we play? We better sit down and figure it out. I can't see them firing Brind'Amour unless he wanted to go. Like he's never wanted to leave there. That's always been the only place he's wanted to coach. And number two, he is so much the identity of that team. I don't think there's another coach leaving that would change an organization more than Brind'Amour leaving Carolina would change them.
Excellent low maintenance hit today, Elliotte. we can't thank you enough.
Always.
I do think one of the things, like Rick, you're always chasing this stuff. I definitely think one of the things the Canucks are trying to do is round out their coaching staff. Like that to me right now is, if you're going to attract players, you're going to try to bring players there. They want to know who their coaches are going to be. So I think that's something they're working on right now too.
Any names you're hearing, Elliotte, for assistant?
I think you were the one who reported some of them. The ones I heard. I don't know that they ever really got into the Bradshaw business again this time around. He was the guy everybody was kind of focused on.
Elliotte, thanks for this, sir. Above and beyond as always.
Take care, boys. See you later.